We're on all the platforms. Yeah, I'm still actually. I've been looking into the technology's increasing. The software capabilities or the things you can do online, and what I've been trying to put together for 2 years. There's a company that's actually done it, including like accessing through the handheld device. So I had a meeting with them, and we're online. And yeah, I'm gonna play the song now. Okay,
Excellent.
here we go. I don't. Oh, I'm digging this. Can you hear it?
I can hear it. Maybe
Okay.
a little louder.
A little louder. Yeah.
A bunch of people will know it.
What'd you say?
Go ahead.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
Woo!
Sitting in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor. And buried in your bones, there's an ache that you can't ignore. Taking your breath, stealing your mind, and all that was real is left behind. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes after. You feel a dream, can't you see, getting closer. Just surrender, cause you feel the feeling taking over. It's fire, it's freedom, it's flooding open. It's a preacher in the pulpit and your blind devotion. There's something breaking at the brick of every wall, it's holding all that you know. So tell me, do you want to go? Where it's covered in all the colored lights, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now.
Damn, that was. Where did you find that?
That's from a movie called The Greatest Showman. And if you
Really?
haven't seen it, you have to see it. The entire soundtrack is just like downloaded.
The Greatest
This is it.
Showman.
The Greatest Showman.
I wonder why I've never heard of that. That was awesome. That was
It is,
incredible.
and all of the songs, all of the lyrics are just now. But I'm getting the song for months. I wake up with it, or I'm having a thought, and it's like, remember, this is the greatest show, and
Yeah.
it's right in front of you, and this is where you want to be, right now.
Yeah.
This is where you want to be, and it's happening.
Yeah. You know, I wrote a post. I got up early. I only slept like 4 hours. I had another lucid dream, and it was all about the greatest show.
All
And
right.
yeah, and the night before, I had the lucid dream from hell, but there was two halves to it. So anyway, I got up early this morning. I knew I couldn't go back to bed, and so I wanted to write that post out. Just I just had the urge to do it for a couple. Ever since it happened. So anyway, it's just to paraphrase it all. Like a lot of people, I've been having lucid dreams for months. I mean, and the frequency, the increased frequency and higher frequency of it, clarity, and they've all been about us building the new technology and the new Earth. Everything's very white, and then over the last several weeks, they really intensified. So then 2 nights ago, I put it in the post. I'm not going to go through it. And the night before the lucid dream from hell, I had a dream, and I talked about it. And everybody in the dream, you were there. I knew a lot of people that were there. We were building technology, building the infrastructures of the new Earth, and everybody started going, "Man, I can't. We haven't had any hiccups. Like there's nothing." No delays, all the pieces were fitting, all the geometry was fitting, and all the technology was running. I'm like, wow. And it was just an incredible vibe of a dream. So then the next night I go to bed, and we're doing that, and all of a sudden all these invaders come in. And it brought back a dream from a couple of years ago when I guess I went back to like Atlantis when it was a matriarchal and the invaders came in. The men got enslaved, the women got taken from us and all that. So I woke up, and because we were trying to like equalize it or, try to, get it back to the way it was. And it was just out of our control. Everything was out of our control. And I wake up and I'm like, my heart's beating and I'm like, holy shit, And I wrote Morgan a message. I said, I just had the lucid dream from hell. But then I went right back to bed, and then I described what I saw in the post, which was we just started telepathically communicating with each other, those that were being oppressed, and we just said, just turn it on them. Tell them what they are. It wasn't like fluffy love and light either. It was like, hey, I love you, brother. You know what? You're beautiful. I love you no matter what you do, who you are, what you think and it was just like that. And all of our wounds just healed instantly. They started freaking out. They turned into babies, and the rest was. And they went back. They turned in. Yeah, it was a combination. Like we got bigger. Our energy field got so big. That's what it was. That I don't know if they became babies, and I think they must have stayed the same size. And they became babies in the context of, compared to us now, like,
Right.
energetically, physically.
Power
And
wise.
then we just like treated them like babies, and whether they were crying and so last night when it happened, the one I just had, some had stayed, not very many, but some had stayed, they'd been transformed, and the rest had left knowing they could never come back. So then I get on here, and you're like, play this song, and you turn the song turns on, and it captures the dream, the dreams. And the reason it really stands out for me is because I just, was getting ready, and I was looking at some of these comments on the post, and everybody was feeling it one way or the other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, I know.
This,
Yeah.
yeah. I had that lucid dream. I don't know if this is deja vu or there's a lot
Pro-
of that
Probably not.
happening. But that
Yeah.
dream where we were working on the technology, and it was like a big room of us and long tables set out, and we were putting together this technology. And it was like I said, "Why am I here?" And they said, "Because you're the one who knows how to make it work."
You said that at 11:11 on the broadcast time.
There you go. The numbers are cool today. I'm synced back into the numbers. This last chunk we did where I really felt out in space. And I thought, I don't even know what day. That was over the weekend, I guess. And so Monday I was trying to feel into it and say, and I clicked into the new, it was like a juncture. We met a big, big juncture and we made it because there's enough of us in light on the path and what. But the jump was huge, and it took like 2 or 3 days for me to feel like I could click in to where we're at. And during those days, I wasn't seeing the numbers. And when I guess it was Monday, and I started seeing the numbers, and like again, and it's just been 144, 1044, 1144, 222. Yeah.
You know, that's another thing that, I'm getting a message from Morgan. I saw a couple of comments. I guess Facebook's having a problem, but okay. So yeah, if anyone's left on Facebook and you haven't got knocked off, you want to go to YouTube. Luckily, we record these automatically now, so when we get them taken off, we have them. But back to the numbers thing. I don't. And again, the timeline. For me, it was April 1st. I woke up April 1st, and like it was just crazy. I was having the stuff we've been having, comes in your head and all whatever it is, and I kept hearing, "Let it go and see what happens." Oh, I got woke up. I'm not going to go through the whole story, but I got woke up by a phone call from my landlord because I had called and made a complaint. He didn't like my style of complaining. I didn't like his style of managing. But anyway, so it was a really loud thing. Sirens were going off. I went on throughout the day. I ended up having this experience at a little restaurant where I got some gumbo, and like an hour and a half of events happened in 9 minutes.
I was doing the same thing. Yeah, I've heard you tell the story, and I've been doing the same thing. It's just we're out of time.
Yeah, that's
out of time.
But what I was going to tell you is that you said about the numbers since that day, because I've had my share of synchronicities like we all have, but since that day, on that day, I mean, 3 times an hour, like it was always something. And then since that time, through the fluctuations, the one thing that's been very constant, no matter what my energy feels like, has been numbers. And they've been, the 444, the 555, all the different numbers. And and so that says something. The frequency increasing like that. I mean, has it increased a lot for you?
Because synchronicities increased so much.
Yeah. That seems like a sign to me, or a message, or whatever, that we're I guess more and more in the 0 point field, or you know what I mean?
Right.
Something, some type.
0 point field. That's what 0 point field is. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, no looking back now.
That's what I'm saying.
No looking back now. Wow. It's wild. I said this to somebody the other day some video I watched, a person had a near-death experience. He was with Yeshua. And Yeshua said, at the end, 7 years is going to feel like 7 months. 7 months is going to feel like 7 days. 7 days is going to feel like 7 minutes. And that's where we are.
That feels like where we're at.
That's where we are. 2022. Come on.
Yeah.
We're 4 months into 2022. And what a wild kind of Right, it's been all year.
All year.
Well, I know,
See
but
that?
it's totally
That's what
different.
I.
It has a totally different,
Yeah.
yeah, velocity or
Well. Oh yeah.
impact
No. Yeah.
than the
No
last
doubt.
year.
Yeah. No doubt. This year has been just been well. Your thing about the 7777. That's what this year's been like. It's
Yeah.
like, but when I was reading those a few of those comments and saw that in people's different ways they were literally having the same feeling, then I hear this song, I start thinking about the last 11 years, and I don't know. It's just I don't know. That song really just you can't make this stuff up, right?
Yeah.
You got your finger on the pulse, and thank you YouTube for not dropping us.
Thank you, YouTube.
Facebook's been haywire, but yeah, we're good.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, it's not a fluffy time. I mean, this
Mm-mm.
is a massive spiritual war still going on.
No, it's not a fluffy time. And that spiritual war, whatever that is, shows up in our heads and in our connections. And I don't know about you, but I've just been absolutely, I can't talk to nobody.
Mhm.
I told Morgan last night, I said, can we cancel Friday? And I think I'm going to get in the car and go up to the mountains next to a stream and turn off, take Facebook and Messenger off of my phone
Yeah,
and just,
I would advise everybody
yeah,
to do this for the 3 days. It's Easter,
yeah,
and
just,
it's the 3 days
yeah,
of finding the spirit within, the
yeah,
resurrection,
yeah,
and it really is important to spend these 3 days
yeah, yeah. And I
just
didn't even know until a while ago when I was talking to her, I didn't know it was Easter weekend. I was like, well, that makes sense. But
yeah,
this real feeling of, and I think it's kind of what you're talking about too, like with this year, this feeling of, because I know it's not unique to me, is what I'm saying. I'm like, man, I need to get off this train for 2 or 3 days, right? I need to get off this train and just feel myself because it has been a lot of there've been a lot of diverse energies and there's been a lot of traffic in the energetic field and I think everybody would say, we're handling it a lot faster. We're moving through it. We're letting it go. To me, that's the
let it,
key. You let it go. Boom.
let
You're
it
done.
as even as the solar activity increases and the magnetism of the density of 3D, 4D, it's very strong and it can pull people down.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It really can pull people down. And yeah, so we want to be doing I had a really great experience on the 222, the 22nd
Yeah.
of, like in 2017, I started doing these ceremonies. I might have talked about that before, about uh, the 0 point starseed stargate activation template, where we're just connecting to all of our past, all of our future, all of our experiences, all of 12 dimensions, connecting it all
Yeah.
into a 0 point field. And that started the template for the starseeds to activate. And on the 222, I went with a couple of girlfriends. There's a hot springs, and you have to uh, cross. There's a river that you have to cross 6 times as it meanders down the mountain to get up to the hot springs. And each section in between is somebody's like cattle land.
Hmm.
But each section has like a different flavor. I don't want to get hung up on the details, but it was it was a beautiful walk in and in the nature. I was so glad to be there on the 22nd. And there was one part of the field where the tree branches were rubbing together. And I said, oh, they're talking as we're walking by. And these were two awake girls, you know. And we had taken our time walking. It took us 2.5 hours to walk up to the hot springs. And once we're at the hot springs, the sun is going to go down behind the mountains pretty soon, you know, so we couldn't spend too much time there. So my girlfriend hands me, I saw her rolling this organic cigarette, and she hands it to me, and I took one puff, and it wasn't tobacco. And I haven't smoked marijuana for like 10 years because I can't. I leave my body.
Yeah.
Literally, I feel myself just leaving my body. And I right away, I went, oh, shit. I was like, oh, shit. I can't feel my legs. I can't control my legs. I can't talk because I'm not in my body. And I had to grab a cocoa tree, which is, the root is really deep into the ground, and ground myself. And I went, it's the 22nd. This is like a shamanic initiation. And as soon as I said that, I went into the mode, and I went, you know, out of the fear completely. I said, I'm going with this, whatever this is. And I'm hugging the cocoa tree, and I can feel myself being pulled into the core of Mother Earth.
Wow.
But I also feel myself stretching up with the tree, you know, into the higher dimensions. And I'm trying to get my legs back. I'm trying to get my voice back. Because I know, you know, if I can't walk out of there, they're going to have to leave me there because the sun's going down. And it took us 2.5 hours to get there, right? And there's nobody around. And anyway, so I started chanting, you know, and stomping the ground and just going, okay, we're moving. And they were all concerned, you know, okay, we're moving. And it was like every single footstep I had to consciously connect that footstep to the core of Mother Earth, every footstep. But everything became so incredibly magical. So incredibly magical. I'll start crying if I try. And then, you know, like thousands of these gorgeous colored dragonflies start circling around us as we're crossing the river to start back through all these lots. And we made it back in under an hour. It took us 2.5 hours to get in. We made it back in under an hour, but everything was talking. And each time you cross the river, there's like a gate that goes into that guy's cattle property. So there's a literal gate.
Right.
So at each gate, I'm stopping, I'm saying a prayer, asking for permission. At this point, I know I'm asking for permission to enter this dimension and connect this dimension into the court. Now, on the way they're driving there, we saw a massive amount of ladders. And ladders I've been seeing for a couple of years, Stairway to Heaven, almost daily ladders. You're connecting heaven to earth, heaven to earth, heaven to earth. So each section went through, the clouds were just incredible. The masters were there. The ancients were there. The white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland was there. Wow. I'm laughing, I'm crying. That when we went through the section with the talking trees, literally we're talking. It was just magical. And so as we're going through lot to lot to lot, and then we came across like 1,000 bulls. We got the path is maybe 10 feet wide. In this particular section, there was barbed wire on each side of the path. So it's me and the two other girls and 1,000 bulls crossing us right like this.
Wow.
It was wild. The whole thing was wild. Coming out, now I couldn't see this from the back as we went in, but each time we crossed the river, I could see the rock faces and guardians, and the birds were just circling us, and the white birds, and it's magical. Coming back out, though, to cross the river where we started, the final crossing. Now we've crossed 6 times going in, 6 times coming out.
Wow.
And the final crossing is when I can see the embankment of the river on the other side, which the back was to me going. But there's 12 humongous outcrops of rock guardians.
Wow.
Rock guardians, right. I know. And then there's so much. But it was like that thing I started in 2017. It was like done deal. This is where we are.
2017.
Yeah, but this is where we are now with the opened up now.
Yeah.
In 0 point to all these 12th dimensional aspects of ourself in this universe.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Have you ever had one that intense since you've lived there? That's like the messages, like just from what you're describing with the gates, the crossings, the dimensions.
I am
everything.
tempted to smoke some pot and see if I can do something so much fun. I am, but I know me. I leave my body,
I think that was your higher self giving you an
Totally.
after party booster. you
was
were
totally
anchoring the after party. So that was on the 22nd.
Then I got in the car and I didn't remember how to drive my own car. And I have a standard, so nobody else could drive the car. And I'm going, okay, there's 3 pedals, and this is my right foot. I flew. Somehow we got home.
What was that? Like ayahuasca?
No, it was pot, but I'm sure it was very strong. We don't have down here, we don't have the synthesized stuff. It's just good stuff.
One hitter quitter.
But it was a setup. It was a total setup.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt.
So this is where we are, we're aware that we're connected on this totally guided, totally protected. We are all that.
Yeah.
I am all that I am. So powerful that no matter what, like your lucid dream, no matter what they try to throw at us. I got hit again on Saturday.
Really?
Direct energy happened. Oh my God, did I get hit?
Saturday. Let me think. What is? Let me go back. So that would have been the 8th, 9th, the 9th. I'm just trying to remember what the past weekend was. I can't remember. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I got hit hard. And it's that's happening because everything just goes all at once. The pain in the head, the nausea, literally the bowels let loose, the whole body is hit. At the same time, it blew all the electric in my house and in my property, and with a big bang. And I was feeling pain going down my left arm.
Wow.
And I said, I'm fine. I'm stronger than this. And this is really the message, there's still a spiritual battle going on out there, but we're the ones we can. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
that's
what we came to do. It's what we came to do, right?
exactly. It's the proof.
Yeah.
It's in a world where evidence is required, we have the proof, and it's not by the world's standards because we
No.
can't prove it to
The
the
world,
world.
the world looks like a movie to me now.
Yeah.
It really does look like a
Yeah,
movie.
it does. It's like it reminds me of what Franco said one time because I said to him, like, like these the more well known, let's just say players, um, brother sister souls that are playing dark, whatever.
Hmm.
And he was just saying, I'm trying to understand, like, what are they thinking? And he said, well, just imagine that you're just gonna push your friend, see how far you can push them until they realize it's just you're just getting punked.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
just
what
a game.
that's what that dream felt like. You know,
Yeah.
to me, it's like I don't know. But it was very, like you said, tears. I mean, it was very powerful. You know, when we practice, when we walk the talk and practice
Hmm.
what we have been given in the most extreme circumstances and watched it turn into what it wasn't so much what it turned into, but what we did, right? For me, like our field got so big, our heart got so big. It also on the first, I had something, well, on that day when it all started, something came in to my, like the solar heart area, really the solar. And it was the first time I had felt this since Jesus came in the trees 11 years ago. And that lasted for about 7 months, maybe 10 months. And this feeling never went away. It never went away. And this is when, like a lot of people, when you first wake up and you have, I know you're in a different category, but I mean, they have this connection where they have this frequency, you know, this prevalence of occurrences of divine episodes, divine intervention. And so that's the feeling. And I still have it. And so then I'm doing, Morgan and I are doing, we're just talking. And this purple thing shows up on my face, right? This like V thing. And it started, so
I
she,
still see it.
right? So she took some pictures and posted it. And then we ended up doing I guess it's shown up again on some of the shows. But I know it can't just be me. Uh, and for me, say it shows up different in everybody. But it's like these things are all coming. They're becoming like some people, the way they see auras, and maybe they can see it more than other people. We all have different, but it's all coming into like the physical. There's something going on with that.
Can I read you something?
Yes.
Because as soon as I saw that and saw the photos, and for whatever reason, I've been fascinated with the Bible,
Yeah.
all this incarnation. So it says, Revelation 7, do not harm the land or the sea or the trees until we put a seal on the foreheads of the servants of our God. Then I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000.
Wow. Yeah, there's some powerful stuff in that Bible. There's stuff that made it through in other books. I'm just saying
Well,
that.
if you read it as a star seed, then
Yeah.
you read it correctly.
Yeah.
Then you read it correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. True. From the very beginning.
There is no time. That's part of this 12 13, you know, the 12 in the circle, which is the 13. There is no time.
No.
We came from the future to change the past in the present. Everything is right now.
Yeah.
Everything that we've changed within us as part of what we've been doing here has changed the past. And so it's changed that frequency so that we're at this frequency where we are now. All of that has dissolved. So many timelines dissolved.
Yeah.
I've been reading Dolores Cannon, Convoluted Universe, just revisiting that, talking about how the different visitations of galactics to Earth for the last 30,000 years. And, you know, the seeding of the Earth and the visitations we made to help them,
Right.
agriculture, farming,
Yes.
mathematics, sciences, astrology. And, you know, she goes through the different visitations and what. And more often than not, any of the galactics who came to do the mission got stuck in the density.
Yeah.
And over generations and what, lost their, you know, a lot of the gifts. So we have so much compassion for the ones who came to help
Yeah.
us who got stuck in density, you know.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeding, you know, in a little ship with another friend that I know here that's incarnated. I remember Morgan being in the mountain in the central location. I mean, this is all going back years. In my like 7 years, some of it 10 years. But yeah, you're right. We got stuck, didn't we?
Yeah.
Some of us.
Some.
I know. I've been here a long. I mean, even from those memories, like from the seeding, literally seeding. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does it
I
feel
think
like?
all of this information coming out now about the arcs,
I was going to ask
you know,
you.
Michael Sala and Elena Denon, and the arcs activating and the halls of records are going to open. Yeah, I'm totally into that. Because the Cedars, we left all of that information for this time.
And the crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've looked at 3 of those videos regarding those arcs that he's done, and then I have a friend of mine over here. We have a friend that when we were in California, headed this way, nobody knew we were coming to this town, and she says, "Hey, I'll gift you my RV for a month." And I said, "Where do you live?" She said, "Fort Smith, Arkansas." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!" Like we're coming there. But anyway, so you know the synchronicities. But last year she sent me it was this book this guy had written. He was some kind of astrophysicist or somebody was using a telescope and using Google Earth, and he was getting downloaded at the same time. And
Mm-hmm.
so what he was proposing was that the arcs that had been spoken of could very well be these triangular high spots all over the earth. He had found them and he shows pictures and everything. And then, so that was just, and again, it's not always the literal, so I just take in the energy. So she sent it to me again, like last week, because she's helping us, she's going to help us with the Soulogy Fest, September 23rd, 24th, 25th. And then she sent me another picture of an area about 35 miles from here. And she said, look at this. And I'm looking at it, and you can see this kind of arc thing.
Ooh.
And she lives on one edge of it, on 150 acres. And so she's gotten this information, like she feels like she's some kind of gatekeeper. You know, but anyway, so then I got called over there. I was looking, looking around. We're looking around for another place, and I saw this like diamond in the rough, and I like go out there the next morning. We didn't get it, but that wasn't the point. That I walked on the land there, and that was inside that triangle, which is like an arc. I mean, so what's going on here?
Well, you're on top of all of those mountains of crystals.
Yeah.
Not up north Arkansas where you are, but the central.
Yeah.
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 Mountains of crystals. Yeah. Not for nothing.
Mm-hmm. No, I just mean with the whole arc vibe, with the Solo's work, and like even that experience that you had described a while ago. I don't know where you are exactly. I know you're on the Yucatan, but that's...
No. I'm on the other side, on the Pacific.
You're on the Pacific.
I'm on the Pacific side, southern Mexico. Okay,
so, but to me, you must have been walking holy ground there. Like, just the way you tell the story, it sounds like you're walking up a pyramid. You know what I mean?
Oaxaca is so poor. They don't bother doing any archaeology here or excavating. I mean, you can just look and say, that's not a hill, that's a pyramid under there. They're everywhere.
Wow.
They're everywhere. Yeah. Where I am and the earthquake activity, there's deep, deep, deep earthquakes going across from where I am, just south of me. On the Pacific side, going straight across into the Gulf of Mexico. It's called the Isthmus. And these deep, deep quakes are going straight across. It's cracking. It's cracking from one side to the other. I always think of Edgar Cayce saying that, there will be earthquakes and things will be revealed. And we know that there's a pyramid between the Yucatan and Cuba, which is still active. Even when fishermen go out there, they have that kind of radar they have on their boats. They say, watch out, there's something massive right in front of us, and they see nothing. But it is this pyramid in the water there. Maybe it's not even visible to their eyes, but it's there.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like if you talk, like what you said about Edgar Cayce, and just like even like a lot of people talking about octahedrons these last few months, which the top or the bottom is a pyramid, or the arc information coming out. And there's different strains of that, or even my personal experience. I mean, and your personal experience. I mean, like pyramids, arcs, octahedrons. What's happening? What's going to happen when the geometry, or like he said, things will be revealed? We're gonna be looking at what? Crystal cities. I mean, this is. I'm feeling like what I'm experiencing in these lucid dreams is exactly what we're going to be experiencing. In fact, It's almost like we're merging to that timeline or something. I can't really explain it.
Yeah. Many years ago, it was around 2010, I think, and I was given the octahedron. And I started doing, anchoring this octahedron into Mexico, and it was given to me. This is how I remember it. They were creator beings, but they were not from our galaxy, maybe not even from our universe, that came in, and they gave me this octahedron. And now I'm thinking, well, were those the seeders?
Was it you?
It was me. Well, obviously it was me. It's all
I
us.
know. I
It's
know.
all us.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
God. I'm
This
just.
is, I think it is Dolores Cannon that says some of the cedars are here incarnated.
I'm
And then
sure.
Michael Sala says, or JP, when he went into one of these arcs and he saw these stasis pods with beings in the stasis pods. And he said, the Starseed crew are going to wake up as these arcs activate. The Starseed crew are going to wake up.
Are we walking into okay, has there been a dimension where an aspect of itself meets an aspect of itself, right? Like, are we walking into some kind of, I mean, because I feel like what's happening has never happened. The whole experience is, there's never been one like it. Like, it's just been off the hook, and so the other side of it will be something beyond miraculous, beyond magical, like just something that's never happened. And I wonder if it would be something along
It's
those
never
lines.
happened successfully.
Yeah, that's what I
Never
mean.
happened successfully.
We never
Right.
made we never made
Now
it
we
to the.
know it is.
Yeah,
Now we know it is successful. And if we've been trying this for 30,000 years,
yeah.
it would explain being a little tired. Hmm?
Especially the last 15, when everything got retooled,
Mm.
and then there's the human species, which is
Mm-hmm.
just like, every day I wake up going, holy shit, like, especially after the energy of the last couple of days, and now talking to you and hearing that song, it's like this is capturing it, and all we got to do is let it go, whatever it is, whatever's
I
not.
say let go of the personality. I've let
Yeah.
go. And then synchronistically, I get kicked off Facebook and Messenger and all of that. So 2020, all of 2022. I got let on like April 1st, and I
Mm.
was on for 4 or 5 days, and then they kicked me off again. So it was, but it was enough time to say hello to a
Well, no
bunch of
wonder they
people.
kicked us off today. You're like public enemy number
Trying to get
one with
rid of me.
Facebook. Yeah.
They keep trying to get rid of me. Yeah, but oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, letting go the personality,
Yeah.
the not letting go the human, but letting go the personality we thought we were as a human,
Yeah.
because we are now our galactic, angelic,
Yeah.
creator
Yeah.
beingness.
Yeah. And that's.
And a lot, the personality as a human had um, programming and ego.
Right.
And letting go the ego
Right.
is how we get, once we let go the personality with the ego,
That's right.
we're open to receiving, I call it holy fire. And almost every day, it's like I'm put down. And when I come to, I'm just, the room is filled with energy, and it's like holy fire. The frequency is so strong. It takes me a while to adjust or run out and jump in the pool, and very, very strong. And that holy fire, that's Christ. That's our Christed being activating. For for the receptacle to be, I'm not saying I am this purified, you know, I'm still doing human stuff too.
Of course.
But it's a state of mind, I guess. It's a state
I
of
don't.
mind where you just like you let go
Yeah.
because you're becoming,
Yeah. Well,
allowing the becoming, and then this holy fire experience has been. I've had it in the past, but it's been very, very strong lately,
yeah.
and that is from the Son of God, S-U-N of God, Son, S-O-N, it's Christ, S-O-N of God, S-U-N of God.
Yeah. 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 I've noticed that, and that's kind of gone along the same pattern as these lucid dreams has been getting thrown, having to go down any time of the day, could be any time, and then coming to. I think it's the same thing you're talking about, to a degree at least, because I wake up and I'm in my body and the first thing is I can't move.
Right.
Like there's this crazy multi-dimensional sensation that I can't really describe. It's a vibration. It's like an electricity. And I feel like I'm paralyzed. And I'll lay there and there is no time. It feels like it's, like a minute or less, but it usually is longer. And I could force myself consciously, but it would break the field or something. So I wait and I wait and wait. It's almost like waiting until you're fully in your body, so to speak, even though you're in
Fully
your body.
back. Sometimes as I'm coming back, I can see, like on Star Trek when they hit the, what's it called? When they go
Yeah.
speed.
Yeah.
And you see everything flying by you. Sometimes coming back, I'm seeing that coming back. Yeah, it's the same thing you're talking about.
I wonder if we're in stasis and we go back and forth, because I've had lucid dreams like that where I'll be on a ship, and Morgan and I are in stasis on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But we've traveled to the ship, and other people like you, there'll be other people that we know there. Yeah, I'm just happy because
Right.
we've never done it right before, or never got through it before.
Right.
We actually are going to the party now. The party is probably actually started already. And what you said, I'm going to go back to that for a second. What you said about the personality. The word personal is in personality. So when we say lose the personality, I think we all know at this point that we have a certain soul signature, and that could equate to some degree. It'll come out in our human, right?
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, because as I've been processing the last few weeks, and everything has followed that same pattern, of accelerated experiences and more information. As we work through the things that aren't us, I get that. So the personality doesn't get offended, doesn't carry a grudge, doesn't feel like it's taken for granted, all this stuff gets wiped out. And so I think we've hit these phases where they come in because they've been embedded, and you go, and you might run with it for a second, but it's real easy to see it, and it's so painless, and you just let it go. And that was the mantra that day on the first. It just kept saying, it was my soul. It kept saying, you remember this feeling? Let it go and see what happens. Just let it go and see what happens. And I just kept telling myself, and I've been doing it ever since. And most of the time, if I'm rested, it's a breeze.
It is. Yeah. It is instantaneous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I have no judgment on myself for anything I've ever done in any lifetime. That's all forgiven.
Yeah, I had that conversation with Franco in that we had that lost. We did a Zoom and we just recorded it, and it was 10 days before the last show we ever did. It was about a month before he transitioned, and that was what. That's how it started. I don't think it actually came out on the video, but it was before we talked. And he was like checking in with my soul, and he was like, because we were just talking. He never like says, "Hey, I'm gonna do." We don't. He was just, Todd, I got something. Your soul's telling me. He sent it to me like 3 or 4 times, and he said, "Jesus, when you do something, you really jump into it, don't you?" He said, "You know." I said, "Franco, please don't go into
I'm all
detail."
in. I'm source. I wanted to experience
Yeah,
this.
because he was telling me something about you don't have any programming. You've got a little bit of shame. And then I think that's when it happened. And he said, "Oh," he goes, "Oh yeah, you really jump into things when you do things, don't you?" But ultimately, and when we had the conversation, he said that applies to all of us. Anyone
Yeah.
that showed up here
Yeah.
is on the A team.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this was not these playgrounds and universities that we create throughout the multiverses. This one didn't quite. I think the wild ones came and started this one or something because, but we pulled it together.
Mm-hmm.
I always knew we'd pull it together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't exactly get born, awake like this.
Yeah. And isn't it crazy how it came in so subtly? Like I
Mm,
remember you, and I remember
perfect.
I came off the streets in the summer of 2013, and I got a laptop. And I'd say within the first 12 months, having been in solitude for 2 years, so this was totally weird because I'd never really exchanged energy on, I hadn't been on the internet. So everything was coming through people's pictures. Like I knew you right away. Right away, I was like, man, I know her I know. Like I know her. And like it was like 2, 3 years before we even messaged, but and there was a lot of people like that, but it was real subtle how it would come in, and we would doubt ourselves, and we'd come in, and we, like a 2 steps up, one back. But I don't feel that now. I don't feel any steps back. It's just been,
No,
you know,
there's no looking back now.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was quite the process and it was perfect. It couldn't have been any faster,
I don't think so.
you know.
We would have, yeah,
It's just perfect now. But it's now. I mean, there's no more playing that game anymore. No more
yeah,
doubt.
yeah. Let it
No
go.
more doubt now.
It's my words to myself are simply, if it's not coming with us, then what do I need? What is it that I don't need it? I just let it go. And it's not about people, places, and things. It's just about this sticky stuff that, we thought was part of our epidermis system, epidermal system. But yeah, so I just say that to myself, and I
Yeah, it
and then
doesn't serve.
yeah. Well, then why even carry it with us if it's not coming, right? And then the other thing would be like, I just, like you said, I think what really helped me was after Soulogy Fest, because that was incredible. I hope to see you this year too. But I came back, and what you said earlier, as things started to come in, it was, I forgive myself
Hmm.
first and foremost, and then I would go into whatever came from it. But I forgive myself, whether it was in the moment, whether it was something that happened 10 years ago, whatever. And that was pretty easy once you start doing it. It was a good path for me. So what'd you do for 4 months off social media?
Oh my goodness. Um, well, that was only 4 minutes, right?
That's right.
I just a lot of this, just a lot of feeling into this,
Yeah.
who I am, what we are. Uh, sensing into, what is the phases we're going through now and the process. And, you know, it, and I did need to step back and do that myself, because I was on Facebook since it started, just trying to, way back, trying to help starseeds wake up, and then, keep up with the what's going on and on and I needed to not be responsible for that anymore.
Yeah.
In my mind, it gave me more focus.
I think there was a lot of that required in the last 3 or 4 months for
Yeah.
people. I mean, it took solitude and isolation to a whole new level.
Mm.
And again, not to construct everything within the bounds of linear time. It wasn't even about that. Everybody's a little bit different, but one thing that seems to be pretty common was people, by one way or another, being pulled into themselves.
Mm-hmm. I had COVID in February, most of February.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't, it was just miserable. It was miserable, but it wasn't dangerous. It was, stay on the couch.
Get to know yourself.
Yeah.
Get reacquainted.
How did this happen? I don't go out. How did this happen? But it did. It did. So I'm watching. Well, I watch the space weather still. I always do that. So I mentioned it, and I think you saw that. I've been watching this sphere that's going around the sun, and it's causing these CMEs.
Really?
And yeah, the sphere is humongous. It's a ship, no doubt. It's a ship, and it's been around for a while. And when I don't know if it's the same ship that the Galactics made a big deal of this, and they made me post it. I think 2016 was when I first started seeing this. And they said, no, you got to post it, and we're going to make it go viral. And it went ridiculously viral, so that it was in, every magazine. It made some TV stations, and then it caused NASA to come out and call me a UFO hunter and trying to discredit me. And it's this massive sphere that showed up on the satellites. And I think it's the same sphere, and it's still here. And when it's around the sun, it causes a lot of, we had an X-wave, right? It causes a lot of the flaring. And when we have as above, so below, when we have a lot of solar activity like that and flares, if you notice when plasma leaves the sun, it leaves in a spiral. And then on Earth, you've got these tornadoes in a spiral. I think the weather on Earth is definitely being affected by whatever ship this is that's up there.
No
but
doubt.
It's there. It's there.
No doubt. Yeah, I remember the post that you're referring to, and I remember the one recently. I remember what you're talking about, because I remember you made the comment, this is coming from that
Sphere.
that ship, that sphere. Yeah, and then I look at here where I'm at for 4 straight weeks, which is basically probably like a 5-state area. There's been this thing come through in the middle of every week. It's full of tornadoes. 4 straight weeks.
Mm-hmm. As you watch the sun, and it's just one after another, strings of sunspots.
So
right?
Was there a thing a couple of days ago? I know that the Schumann went black for 6 hours. And I saw a couple of people saying that during that 6 hours, everything stopped. In terms of like the sun the sun projecting anything or something, and they couldn't explain it.
We were in a jump. So none of the timelines made sense because we weren't in any of the timelines, right? So it was like, yeah, we might have saw that CME on the sun yesterday, but we're in a different reality now.
Wow.
It was a big jump. That jump I'm talking about happened when the Schumann went dark like that.
So that makes sense. So we were not on the timeline, because I mean from the first there was like a boatload that first weekend. There was
Maybe, maybe there were a bunch of people on those timelines. Right? As we do these jumps, everybody on the ascension path, from where they're at takes a shift up, shift up, shift up. But they're the ones who haven't chosen this. So maybe they did experience the more severe arrival of the CMEs. Maybe.
Well, all I know is I don't pay that much attention to them. I mean, I kind of follow Pat Donworth, or she'll show up on my feed, but from April, or the last day I think of March, I think that was a Thursday. There were 17 in one day, and then they just kept coming for the and never really have stopped. And the weather's kind of followed that as well.
There were 50.
50.
There were 50, yeah, CMEs. And they were like, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Now, when the Earth receives this solar wind with the plasma and the codes, that penetrates to the crystal core of Mother Earth. And the Mother Earth processes these new codes and releases that to the surface. So some of what we feel is when it's very energetic, but it's when Mother Earth is releasing these codes to the surface through her vortexes and ley lines and what. That's for everybody on Earth to experience some kind of encodement and feeling it. It has a different feeling from solar sensitives who can feel solar flares happening on the sun when they happen, which I do. And then we feel when the solar wind comes in, solar sensitives will feel when the solar wind comes in. But after Mother Earth processes these codes and releases to the surface, that affects everything, every kingdom on the planet. Through us, the starseeds, because we're like the acupuncture points on the planet, right? And the solar activity coming through us physically.
Makes sense.
We are grounding, and then to the core of Gaia, and then back up for everybody.
Damn. It's actually taken on a physical, or what?
We took it on physically.
I mean, I'm just saying it's actually, I mean, really happening fast, too.
Yeah.
Really fast.
Yeah. And these 50 that we had, they're coming around again. It'll be interesting to see what comes around.
When are they coming around again?
Well, probably next week. Or maybe now. Sandra Walter was saying we're going to have a gateway starting today through the 19th. And that usually involves solar. So, and of course, we've got the Easter weekend, so.
God.
Starting today through and what else is happening? All that astrology that we've been having.
Oh yeah, Jupiter Neptune are conjuncted yesterday, I think.
Yep.
There's I think 6 conjunctions this month or something like that. We had Julie on the other day. She does all that.
Yeah, she's really good with the astrology and
Yeah,
stuff.
she's
So much of the Pluto stuff, so much of that Pluto stuff, transformation. So on the 18th, the Sun squares Pluto in Scorpio, and Scorpio is the ruler of Pluto. The 18th is Monday.
let's see,
Yeah.
1450. Yep.
What I wrote down: intense, volatile. Some people lose grip on reality, but this is the powers of creation and destruction in the 8th house of transformation. So that's a pretty big deal.
I'll say. So that starts today. When did that start?
Sandra Walter says we start a gateway today,
13th to the 19th. Yeah, I saw it this
13th
morning.
to the 19th.
Yeah, she said it. A lot of people are fasting. I've been
I
attempting
can't
it for.
eat too much.
Huh?
I can't eat too much, but I have to eat.
Yeah. Most people I'm talking to, even like my friend I ran into, who's not really in these circles, and he loves to eat. And I said, "You want to get a bite to eat?" And he said, "Man, I can't eat." Big old corn-fed country boy. I can't eat, you know. But I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah, I had a long period of that indigestion when everybody else was feeling that indigestion in my. What I did, I had to stop all the supplements I was taking
Yeah,
because even they were giving me indigestion.
yeah. I had half a cup of coffee, and I put a pinch of baking soda, and I had half a cup this morning. I'm not hardly drinking any, just because my body just can't take it.
Yeah,
Tears
same
my,
here.
it's
I have
too,
my one cup, and if I have a second cup, it's like no,
yeah.
nope.
I'm drinking a lot of tea, a lot of ginger tea. That's nice. Herbal tea. Nothing too heavy.
Yeah, the body's
Man,
transformation. The body's in transformation.
and quickly. I
Hmm.
the God, this, and then spring just occurring in the northern hemisphere, and we're gonna have that Soulogy Fest begins the day of the equinox in September.
No,
Uh,
right. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. You got something
Uh,
else? Are you gonna come? Are you
well,
coming?
I'm planning on it.
Okay, we'll talk about it. But so
Yeah.
yeah, that's a
I mean,
Thursday.
the question is, are we still here? That's the question.
Well, that's what I'm wondering
Or maybe
after.
we're all getting on your ark or something.
I don't know, and that's what I'm wondering. What's it gonna? I mean, I don't spend so much time because I realize now you let it go. I mean, let it go applies to a lot of things because it's such
Oh
a
yeah.
present experience that's all that's being asked. That's it. Be present right now. Grateful,
All
whatever.
belief systems. Just let all
Yeah,
belief
everything.
systems go. But my lucid dreams, and this has been weeks. I can have them almost every night too. And these lucid dreams, I'm packing up the house. It may not be this one. It
Right,
might be a different house, but it's my house.
right.
Another night, it's my house, but it's a different house. And I'm packing it up. I'm getting ready to leave and only pack what fits in a handbag, a carry on, not even a big carry on, just a couple of items. And this is like you're leaving the house for good. So you're
Hmm.
closing up the house. And in many of them, I'm meeting in a stadium or an auditorium or a parking lot with thousands of starseeds or hundreds
Wow.
of starseeds. And we're going to take an exit. And I'm having these lucid dreams, just
S-
consistent.
See, and I keep seeing all this white stuff. All this, everything has got profile. Everything has got definition, but it's all white, and it's all planet white. And like last night, I mean that a lot of them are like last night, but last night was I'm in this house. It's our house. I'm getting it ready. We're getting it ready, everything's white and, you know, painting it, moving furniture and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But what I'm kind of wondering is, are we like going to just because it's just getting more and more seamless? Are we just going to kind of like walk into that lucid dream type of atmosphere?
Yeah.
You know, like
That would be the way to do it.
I think we're going to do it with as much ease and grace as possible, to the point where if you have earthquakes, whatever, and we've already had instances of this. Obviously, some people have transitioned, but it hasn't been like catastrophic level like it was a few years ago when all the fuckery was going on, like Haiti and Indonesia and
Right.
some of the weather manipulation.
Yeah. Well, wait, you know, I keep it in consideration, and all the talk of the arcs, you know, I don't know, as in the days of Noah. Certainly, we're going to have to purify the planet. And does that involve evacuating the planet for a time?
Or maybe our energy is so transformative that we're able to collaborate with the earth and the surrounding, you know, celestial bodies and such, that it happens almost, you know, almost like it would happen in a higher dimension.
And then bring it down.
Yeah. I don't know.
But that sounds like something we'd be doing from a white room. I think we're involved in this somehow.
And
You know, and I'm not talking about like the evacuation of starseeds. I'm not talking about that.
right.
I'm saying that there, you know, however many billions of people are still on the planet, who have chosen other paths.
Yeah, true. And that's true. Some will stay and some will go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just from a soul standpoint, like I'm on to the next adventure or whatever. But that's interesting what you said. We do it from a room that's white, because I remember when I woke up this time, 12 years ago, that like a lot of us, I was working in the astrals and taking a lot of people that transition, taking them into up the stairs and into the healing heaven, or whatever you want to call it. But they had these healing rooms where the soul, I would take them into the healing room, and it was full of these white, silent angels. They only spoke colors and you know, like that type of thing. But it was very white and pristine, and that's where the souls that transition, they would be, you know, brought up to speed and, you know, and all that stuff. So.
Well, something massive is going down. We'll be part of it.
Yeah, and I have a feeling this year is going to be the first. This is going to be the Thursday night mixer before the party, the after party. Like, it feels like, even like Soulogy in September. Like, I didn't know that was equinox weekend, and I didn't know about this. You know, like, I'm getting pulled to this arc place. And again, I know some of this is just energy and how it presents itself, but this is happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. And yeah, I think we're going to be coming together in more ways than one.
In more ways than one. We are unity now. We are the oneness now. All of us. You know, let let this happen. Telepathy.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yes.
Now, activate.
Yes. That was so cool in that dream 2 nights ago, because that was so clear. We were all being, you know, tortured or whatever, you know, and in that instant, because it was me kneeling before this whatever. And but when that instant occurred, like, oh, here's what we do, I knew it was like a beehive mind. And everyone did it, and everyone started doing it, and everything changed so fast. It was like literally a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
You know, like when you get in a car wreck and everything slows down, it was like that, and it just went slow down for a minute, like in the Matrix when he's flying through the air, and then it boom, it just started back up, and everything was back to normal.
Mm.
I like that thing you said about the sevens, though. 7 years is 7. You know, I mean that kind of describes it, because I know a lot of people recently that I've talked to have a bit of a difficulty, including myself, describing what they're getting. It's like there's no words.
I wasn't sure I would be able to talk today.
Well, you did a great, fantastic job.
After this week, and I mean this week, and I couldn't put 2 words together. It wasn't just me.
I know. I haven't. I have my, difficulties as well.
You do great. You do great.
Yeah, but you see me on camera. Once I get off, a lot of times I'm shit, but I really only talk to Morgan, and sometimes, I just can't do anything, but it has been very prevalent with people, no doubt, but we're doing it in a way that, God, this is just the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg, really.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
I know it is.
It is fun now. It is. All that doubt and all that growing up that we were doing, it's behind us now.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's just it's a easy choice point in every moment. Is it coming with us?
Yeah.
Well, then don't bring it. That's really it. And it's not, and I love what you said about the personality thing, because it's a whole different connotation. It's nothing. It's just the part of us that, and rightly so, took on identity and felt, I need to give this part of me importance. Well, I think we do that. We've done that, but in a different way. We've done it in a way, say, okay, yes, thank you for being a part of me. You're a part of me. I love you. You can rest now. That part of us is going to probably be the one dancing on the bar at the after parties.
Our new personality, it's our multi-dimensional self.
Yeah.
Our multi-dimensional self is our new personality. Yeah.
Well, it's sure good to see you.
And it would be, I haven't had a cold beer in a long time. But it would be fun to have a cold beer and pizza and dance on the bar. I can't eat pizza either. I haven't been able to eat pizza.
We'll have a light body pizza.
Yeah.
Smoke some Angel's Trust.
Right.
Drink some more Resurrection. Yeah. Hey, it was good seeing you. It was really good. I appreciate you coming in, because I know you've always been reserved about it, and we've talked about that. But yeah, this was really powerful, and I just want to say thank you on behalf of everybody, because you bring something to the table, and we know how this works now. So I've been watching this for a few weeks on the show, but certainly since the 1st of April, something massive happening in these transmissions of collaboration. It's just, I can't even there's no words. So today is a very...
Becoming that oneness, that unity.
Yeah.
We're all being moved, really, as one into this next phase that we're going into. So.
Well, you be careful with the bulls.
So I love everybody out there doing the.
I want to know who's on that damn shit, that sphere. I want to know who's on that sphere.
Yeah, right.
Although I had this quick vision the other night, real quick, and it was, it looked like a ship. It actually looked like some type of sea creature, with like a band of fins around its body, and like a dorsal looking thing, and a tail, and it had and I just, it was a flash, and I saw it, and it was like I could tell that this band of whatever that was were like windows, and I could see, and I'm not talking like, a ship of like 1,000 people. I'm talking like there was like a city in there, or cities. I thought, what the hell is that? Right? That may be that ship, or a ship. I don't know. I'm
Well, I think
excited.
there's an awful lot of them
Yeah,
with us now.
yeah.
So many.
Well, I'm excited for what's going to happen. I'm in no rush. I'm enjoying the present, and because that's where all the magic is. And yeah, and you take care of
Loving
yourself. You take care of yourself. Thank you for sharing that video with us too.
Watch the movie.
I'm going to
You'll
watch
love
the
it.
movie. And thank you for showing up today and setting the table for this weekend, because I think you've done that. You've done that for us today.
Happy Easter, everybody.
You take care, Pamela.
Love you.
I love you too. I'll see you later.